love the game. I love the hustle, man.
People always want to text me as soon as I'm about to start this pod. As soon as I hit record, they want to text me. Yo, what's good? I go by the name of Stealth. This is an All Net No Rim podcast. This is episode number 6, man. We are back. What's good with my boy Teddy White?
My dog was happening.
Man, we missing Dope Boy Bush today. His computer, he's having some computer issues, so he is not with us today. But hopefully we can get him in on the next one. He has to go get that thing serviced, go take that thing over to Apple. Yeah, I mean, get it fixed so we can get him back on the road. You know what I'm saying, with this pod.
Yeah, we're gonna hold it down though.
Yeah,
we're gonna hold it down,
man. We're gonna hold it down. Today is we're in September. Bro, this year is flying, bro. September 1st, man. This year is flying by quickly, man. Football's already back. Basketball's gonna be back before you know it.
We back.
Yeah, training camp. I think training camp starts late this month or maybe very early next month. So we're probably like we're like just under 40 days until training camp, I believe. Could be somewhere, give or take, but somewhere around there. NBA is going to be back really, really soon. I'm already looking at some of these games, man. My boy just hit me up. He got the line on the tickets. He was like, yo, I got the Laker game, the first Laker game. He's like, if you want to go,
is that right?
Yeah. So I'm like, man, I
need that.
But yeah, so like I said, this is episode number 6. Thank y'all for tapping in. If this is your first time to the channel, please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you feeling, what we got going on. We're going to hit y'all with content all season. You know what I mean? Like I said, technically we're still in the summertime portion of the year. You know what I mean? As far as basketball is concerned, but pretty soon here we're going to have some stuff to talk about. We're going to have preseason coming up. We're going to have a lot of things going on, and then the season's going to be here before you know it. Like I said, this year is flying by. So as far as the Kings, talking about the NBA season, the Kings just made a late acquisition, I guess, considering, you know what I'm saying, we're in September, August, and, you know what I'm saying, a lot of times, you know, teams kind of already have, you know, gone through their signings and things like that with free agents. Right. But Javale McGee, I believe, just got released from, was it Dallas? I believe he was at Dallas.
He did.
Got released from Dallas, and now the Sacramento Kings have picked him up, man. Let me check really quickly. Okay. Because I want to get this contract correct.
Right.
So yeah, free agent center Javale McGee will sign with the Sacramento Kings. This was, you know, from NBA on TNT, Bleacher Report. They reported it. The Athletic, the Stadium, everybody's reporting it. So he is now a Sacramento King. I'm looking for the contract information. I cannot find it right now.
I want to say it might be a 2-year.
So it's a 1-year deal for sure. I know that.
Okay.
Let's see. Yeah. Your boy Chris Haynes, look like he was on that.
Yeah, shouts out to my dog Chris Haynes.
Yeah, he's in your basketball league. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
that's not, man.
So yeah, the Kings have signed him to a 1-year deal. I cannot find the numbers. I do apologize for that, for everybody listening. But yeah, so this was actually one of the guys that we had talked about, you and I and Dope Boy, early in free agency. I think before free agency, we were talking about, because we were thinking, I don't know why we thought he was a free agent, but he wasn't. It kind of seemed like he always is. Like, he's always in the free agent market, but he wasn't. He was still signed with the Mavericks, but for some reason, again, they released him. We picked him up. I feel like he fits great here. I agree. He can run the floor. He can rebound. Tall, slender guy, block shots. And I feel like that's what Mike Brown is really looking for with the Nerlens Noel pickup, with the JaVale McGee pickup. We're looking for guys to really play that defensive center position. I have some thoughts on it. Let me know what you think about this acquisition for the Kings.
So you know what? I actually like it.
I love it.
You know
I love it.
You know what? That was one of the things that we was lacking, and it showed in the playoffs. Although us seeing the games, we watched out of 82 probably games. I know you and I probably watched at least 62, 62 to 70 games. So we knew early on in the season, one of the things that they lacked was a big man, right? So the JaVale McGee signing was good. But I will say this though, right? So now we do. So now we have what? We know that Trey Lyles would be that backup center. We know that, right?
Why backup 4?
Go ahead and finish, because that's kind of what I wanted to get into. But go ahead and finish. Yeah. I would say somewhere around that 4 or 5, but I would say he would be coming in mostly for the Sabonis. I would think. So my thing, who if I ask you, who you think will come in battling for that third center position?
I'm gonna be honest. Well, we still have Lynn. We still got Alex Lynn, right?
So then that's where you get into, okay, now do you go JaVale?
Here's my thing, right?
Alex Lynn?
I'm so glad you just brought that up because this is kind of what I wanted to touch on. The starting five. I think this might shift. I don't know. Maybe not. Because here's my thing, right? Here's what I was thinking. If you can have somebody else start at that 5 position other than Sabonis, and he can kind of play his natural 4 position, because I don't really think Sabonis is a natural 5. I think he's more of a power forward, right?
You've been consistent in saying that.
I've been saying that for a while, and I said that last season. And if you think back to when he was in Indiana, he played alongside Miles Turner, right? So I wonder if that's one of the things that he maybe talked about with his agent, maybe kind of, he kind of relayed that to the front office, or maybe he himself related to the front office, like, hey, like, I kind of want to go back to, playing that 4 spot. Could you guys get somebody to go alongside of me to play the 5? Because I'm looking at it between JaVale McGee and Nerlens Noel. Shouldn't one of those guys start? Because I'm looking at it like, why would you have both of those guys off of your bench as centers? One of them's not going to get the tick, right? So the way I'm looking at it is, maybe I like McGee, Sabonis, right? Keegan, Herter, Fox. I kind of like that because now, and then the reason I like Sabonis is because, the reason I like McGee starting is because, again, defensive presence, right? He can guard the 5s, shot blocker, again, taller than Sabonis. He's a true center, right? True defensive center. But he can also he's also a rim runner. You can run a pick and roll with him if you're De'Aaron Fox. Throw him oops. He's gonna go up and get it. You know what I mean? I kind of like it. Now I'm probably jumping the gun. I know I'm probably wrong, but I wouldn't be mad at that starting lineup. We would get bigger, right? We would get a little bigger because you would, like I said, you would have McGee and Sabonis in the front court rather than Sabonis, and then you're kind of going small at your 4 with like the Harrison. Or the Keegan, you're kind of going a little smaller, right? Now we can come in with that same starting 5 we did last year, and I think we'll have a lot of success with that lineup. But I feel like it would kind of be redundant to have McGee and Nerlens Noel both off of your bench without one of the 2 starting. What are your thoughts on that?
And you know what? You still have Kata in there too, so don't forget about Kata. They just re-signed Kata for a year or whatever.
So so if you have, and I don't know if he's going to be on the varsity team. I always call it the varsity versus junior varsity. You know what I'm saying? And I consider junior varsity the Stockton Kings and varsity the Kings. So I don't know if he's going to be with the big boys with the squad this year. But if he is, that means you would have 4 centers on the bench: Lynn, Kata, McGee, and Nerlens. Like,
so one thing that we do know, we know
Lyles, like that's
one thing we do know is that we know they won't do that. So we know
they won't do that.
4 centers on the roster. It will
not be 4 centers. Right? So Kata's probably still going to be in Stockton on the 2-way possibly. But then going back to your Lyles point, I feel like, and here's my second part to what I was saying about my starting 5, my idea for the starting 5. I like, then you can go with like a Noel and Lyles for McGee and Sabonis. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
You kind of see where I'm going, and then you can kind of plug in. All right, now we're gonna put Harrison in for Keegan, throw Monk in there for Herter. You know what I mean? I kind of like I like that. I don't know. And again, it probably won't go like that, but in my mind, I love how that looks on paper, and just like when I'm thinking about it, logistically and on the court, and just substitutions and how I kind of like that. You know what I mean? Still got Sasha. You know, forgot about Sasha. He just had his press conference the other day. He seems like he's excited to be here. Looks like he's going to wear number 7, I believe.
Right.
But yeah, so what do you? Just talk about what I just said. Starting lineup, subs. What do you think about that?
So I will say this, right? You know what? For me, I wouldn't be upset, and I'm not. I'm not delirious to what you are saying. In hindsight, that would be nice to have JaVale McGee do start. You know what I mean? But for me, I don't trust, and this is no disrespect to, JaVale McGee. I don't trust JaVale McGee playing 15 minutes a game. No more than that. Actually, if you be honest, you know what I mean. If I can get somewhere between 7 to maybe 11 minutes a game,
that's all
maybe
you want from him.
Javale McGee.
Okay.
I don't need enough,
Okay.
I believe Alex Lynn, and you know what? Shouts out to James Ham too from the Kings Insider. I was listening to him on D-Lo and KC today, and he was talking about Alex Lynn too. And one of the things last year Alex Lynn was dealing with, a lot of people don't really understand, was his country with the Ukrainian, with the war going on, with that mid-season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Most of the season.
Yeah.
And he showed up professional all the time. But it's going to come down to me. I think it's going to come down to that JaVale, that Alex Lynn. One thing about Alex Lynn was durable. He was healthy. He was, he was called upon. He showed up. So, I mean, I think that JaVale McGee brings definitely a lot more athleticism than Alex Lynn.
Alex Lynn, right?
Go ahead.
So, how do you think the starting lineup's going to look? Give me your 5. Same thing, same lineup that we had last year, pretty much.
It'll be very similar. It will be very similar to what. You don't
think that's a little redundant to have those 3 centers off the bench though? Because here's the way I'm looking at it. I feel like one of them is going to get more tick than the other. And I'm talking about either JaVale or Nerlens. Who knows? JaVale could just be there if somebody gets hurt, backup, locker room guy, veteran. Maybe that's why we brought him here. But I guess I'm kind of looking, maybe I'm holding his value a little higher than normal. But he did start along LeBron James and Anthony Davis in LA that helped them win a ring. Let's not forget that.
Absolutely.
And Anthony Davis kind of, I don't want to say similar games to Sabonis, but similar role for his team. Respective to the Kings. So as far as Sabonis, Davis, him playing the 4, instead of playing the 5, having JaVale fill that 5 spot. So that's kind of where my mind was going. I just don't really like JaVale, Lynn, Nerlens all off the bench. I feel like one of those guys should be in the starting 5. I just feel like that just makes your bench a little redundant. And all those guys aren't going to get the minutes and one of those spots. I don't know. Maybe it's for maybe just for just insurance purposes in case somebody gets hurt or something like that. But
absolutely,
I don't know.
I mean, you know what? He's a 35-year-old veteran, and you know what? I'm comfortable between that 7 to 11 minutes. Now, if I'm getting anything over 15 minutes and JaVale's getting in between that, because for me, he gets his best attributes are in spurts, in quick spurts.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So anything outside of quick spurts is just like Mike Tyson. Once you get him in that 7th and 8th or that 6th, 7th, 8th round, you know what I mean? Now you got him. That's where you want him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, you utilize him. You know what I mean? Energy. You know what? If the energy is down, bring him in. You know what? If we lacking rim protection, bring him in. You know what I mean? So great signing. I see why they signed him. And you know what? I can't wait for the season.
I'm excited, man. I'm excited for the season. I like the pickup. It's going to be interesting to see how Mike Brown and his staff fit everybody in, with these new acquisitions and things like that. Somebody's going to be out of the rotation. Some of these guys are going to be locker room guys. Maybe Noel's going to be the locker room guy, specialty when we need him, come in, play some defense, block some shots. The thing about this team is everybody's going to have to stay ready, because I do notice that Mike Brown might throw. Sometimes he throws a curveball like, okay, this guy's gonna get 15 minutes a night, 20 minutes a night. Like, he ain't played in 5 games. You know what I mean? So everybody's got to stay in shape, stay ready. You got to be in shape on this team. He likes to run.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of. Yeah, you got to be ready. You got to be kind of like almost like the Miami Heat, man. Like you got to be in shape to play in the system. You know what I mean? I like that we're building that culture up. I think we're building a good culture here in Sacramento. Hopefully we can continue to win and be successful and go from there. The second topic we have for today is Gilber Arenas.
What we talking about?
Gilber Arenas, man. So Gilber Arenas had an interesting topic that he spoke on his podcast. So basically, Gilber Arenas was talking about rings, winning a championship ring versus making the most money you possibly can in the NBA, right? And he was saying that give me the money. He was like, I don't need a ring. I'm not tripping off a ring like that. Give me the money. I think I apologize. I don't know her name, but he had a guest on his podcast, and she was asking, "Hey, if you made 170, and you didn't win a ring, but would you take 120?" I believe, and take a championship with that. He was like, nope, I need my 50. Give my 50 mil. You know what I'm saying?
And I think Gilbert actually, I think his earnings was 170.
I think that's why she said that. I think that's why she said that. So like, would you give up 50 million to win a ring and still take your 120? And he was like, no. You know what I mean? And he was basically saying how like he was like, nah, you crazy. He was like, he's like, people are selling their rings, other people selling their rings for 10 grand. You know what I mean? They don't even make up for that. So I know you're big on this, right? This is why I wanted to talk about this topic with you, because you love talking about winners versus guys who don't want to win, losers. I don't want you to say you call them losers, but you say everybody's not winners. We kind of talked about it last week, and we was talking about James Harden versus D Wade. We had that debate. What's your thoughts on this, man? Like, and I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna kick it to you. I kind of feel like this is something like the reason why this topic is really interesting to me, because I feel like he's not the only one who feels like this and thinks like this, that plays or has played in the NBA, especially with these young kids now coming into the league. I feel like it is about the money. So what are your thoughts on that? Gilbert Arenas saying, no, give me the money. Y'all can keep the rings.
I mean, at this point, like, did you expect any other answer from my dog? Gil?
Yeah.
Like,
it's typical Gilbert answer, bro. Typical,
you know what I'm saying?
typical.
James Harden, that's James Harden's in that Gilbert Arenas type.
Do you feel like he's there? Yeah. Do you feel like he's?
Hey, and both great players, hell of a players. You know what I'm saying? But not everybody had that Kobe. Not everybody had that special cloth in them. Not everybody had that Jordan or that. They don't have that. And I wouldn't expect any other answer from Gil. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's crazy because it's kind of a tricky question, though, because when we get to talking about dudes that never won a championship, right? Like, first off, these dudes, we talking about the Charles, well, maybe outside of maybe Charles Barkley, but the Pete Maraviches, the Karl Malones, the Stocktons, that these dudes don't have the luxury to even wage off 50 million, you know what I mean, of their life earnings to even go for it. You know what I mean? But if they was in the same position where they if Karl Malone 170, I'm pretty sure he would, because that's what the game means to them.
Yeah, right.
The game means,
right.
That shouldn't even be a question.
Yeah. Nah.
Anyway, hey, my thing is this, right? Anyway, when you come from nothing, if you got 120, you can make up that other 50 somehow, some way. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So yeah, I want to be a winner. Like, I don't want to be the guy at the end of the. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want to be on the end of the bench that didn't. You know what I mean? But if we talking about legacy, then yeah, I need that to the cherry on top for my legacy. But these dudes ain't playing for legacy. They playing for a bag.
Is that a bad thing? And is that why the league is the way it is? That people play. But here's the thing, though, right? And then like. Now I feel like now I'm talking to you about this subject, and I didn't think about this till just right now, this very second. Maybe I shouldn't be so mad at dudes trying to team up to win, because they're showing that they want to win, right? But then at the same time, they're still getting their bag, they still getting that money. But if they're showing it like, yo, I want to come together, I want that chip, I want to win. Now I'm like, is that such a bad thing? If you do have dudes with the Gilbert Arenas mentality of, I'm not even tripping, just give me the bag. But then you have guys like Durant and Booker and Beal who want to team up, or Durant and Harden and Kyrie who want to team up, or Bron and Wade and Ba. Like, is that maybe I shouldn't be so mad at super teams in, because these are dudes that want to win championships. So it's almost like if you're a fan like me, it's almost like, well, which way do you want it? Do you want guys that want to win, or am I a fan that just wants the players to win under my conditions? Like, nah, don't go team up, but I still want you to try to be a winner, though. Like, do I want my cake and eat it too? Do I want it both ways? It's kind of tricky, right? It's
how some people wake up, the first thing they do is brush their teeth, and there's some others when the first thing they do, they don't brush their teeth, they start a conversation. So it's either way. How, you know what I mean?
What you think? Like what you think? Like, is it like, do you want? Do you want a guy who wants to win?
Winner.
So you want winners.
I want the guy who wants to win. I can point somebody out who don't want to win. That's what, again, it goes back to a great player, but I could see from afar from that. His reply, I expect anything else because his game showed that. You know what I'm saying? And some of these dudes, they get to a point, you know what I mean? They in a situation, they done been to, and they in a losing franchise, a losing city. You know what I mean? They done been there 4, 5, 6 years. Now it's kind of like, now I'm really just playing for the bag for real now.
I just feel like there's so many variables in the league because now you got teams who aren't really concerned about, you got teams and owners who aren't really concerned about winning. Then you got players who aren't concerned about winning. But then you got these guys who want to team up because they want to win. And you got guys like Jimmy Butler who just play hard. They want to win, but they don't really have like the super team. You got the Giannis's up there who already has a ring. You know he wants to win, but it's not really trying to form like a super team. It's just so many different variables in the league now, man. It's like, damn, like when you think about it, it's like, it's kind of crazy. You know what I mean? Because everybody's not on the same page of winning. And then the people who do want to win don't have the same view of how they want to win or how you should win. How winning should look. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's just crazy when you think about it, man. This is a very interesting topic to me, man.
To the point where you like, you know what, I'm gonna milk this thing for everything it is.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess Gilbert's like, you know what, give me the bag. That's why I'm here. I'm trying to, you know, get generational wealth. And he's like,
I'm not mad at that.
But maybe he's not necessarily saying I don't care about winning. Maybe he just said like it's money first. And if I happen to win in the process, you know, because Gilbert was a good player. Let's not act like Gilbert Arenas wasn't
great. Really good player.
Yeah, but he just
really
he just was on bad teams. You know what I mean? So
and that's what I was saying. And then you get to a point where it's like, man, I'm gonna chase these back. Like, my character is in no doubt. You know what I mean? Everybody know I'm a dog. Everybody, winner. You know what I'm saying? But
what type of player would you be? Ring or champion? Or excuse me, championship or money?
That's a great question.
So let me ask you this. I'm gonna be more specific with you.
Let me say this too.
Okay.
Let me say this. Some guys with legacy in the ring, that always their lifetime. Off that one ring, you can generate wealth off that one ring. You're a champion.
You're a champ. But he did make a good point though, right? One of the things he said was Robert Horry has 7 rings, but he only made $54 million. You know what I'm saying? So, but then Gilbert made 170 with no ring. So, which career would you take? Let me ask you that. Which career would you take? 50 million, 7 rings, 170, never sniffed a championship.
I'm taking 54. I'm done. I'll take the 54 million in the rings. That's me because you know why?
I know you're being honest when you say that, but I think if you were presented with it,
you're right.
I think you taking that 170.
Right.
I think if you was if you had that A and B, I think you're taking that one. It'd be hard not to take that 170.
But you know what? You know what comes behind them rings is a journey, though. Robert Horry's journey with them rings is crazy. Of course, Gilbert Arenas got caught with the thing in the locker. He won his bag.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
All right, let me ask. All right, let me one more scenario. 200 mil, no ring, 120, 2 rings. So 80 mil difference. What would you take? That's a lot. 80 mil. 80 mil is a lot.
80 mil is a lot.
But 120 2 rings, that's a lot of money too. And you get 2 rings, you're a champion.
Absolutely. 200. I might have to take that 200.
Yeah.
That's a big.
That's huge, bro. You know, it's definitely interesting, man. I think we're seeing a lot of players kind of make that decision before our eyes. Every free agency, we see guys kind of make these decisions and sign these huge contracts with these bad teams, and we're like, wait, why'd you re-sign with the Wizards? Like, but then it's like, all right, well, they're like, hey, I need my bag. You know what I mean? So that's how some guys look at it, man. The championship, maybe having an NBA championship doesn't mean as much anymore to most of these guys in the league, man.
Right.
I don't know. But very interesting. So our third topic of the day, man, this is something I definitely wanted to get to. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he is in the news recently. So I guess the Bucks are able to, I guess, give him an extension. But he said he's not re-signing right now, a long-term extension. The quote that Giannis has here, he says, "The real question is not going to be this year. Numbers-wise, it doesn't make sense. But next year, next summer, it would make more sense for both parties. Even then, I don't know. I would not be the best version of myself if I don't know that everybody talking about the Bucks is on the same page. And everybody's going for a championship. Everybody's going to sacrifice time away from their family like I do. And if I don't feel that, I'm not signing."
Come on, man.
What's your thoughts on that? Fire off.
Sacrifice.
Fire off.
Winning. Now, I bet you if you ask Giannis, right, will he take the 170 or the 120?
or the 220, right? Yeah.
He's gonna take the 120 in the ring.
Yeah,
because he loves the game. He knows the stamp that is gonna leave on his legacy, not just for him, but the generational.
And this is the guy that has a ring already. He already has a ring. He's already won.
And hungry for more.
He wants more. You know
what I mean? So if a guy hardly ever even sniffed the playoffs, he can't tell me nothing about winning.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So but that's another story though. But you know what? Milwaukee, it's early. You know what? They're gonna do everything they can.
It's still early in the process. It's still early in the process.
Player, absolutely.
Yeah.
Still early in the process, but they're gonna do everything they can to keep Giannis. You know what I mean? Generational talent.
Speaking of that, they're definitely doing everything they can. They just signed his other brother, Alex Antetokounmpo. So they got two brothers. They have the not Kostas. What's the other brother's name? I'm sorry. What's the other brother's name that they got over there who's been there for a while?
My thing is, what I'm saying?
But there's three Antetokounmpo, so they're employing his family. Like, please stay here. You know what I mean? Now, see
what I'm saying, Gilbert? When you win a ring, you could do this. Now we talking about generation. Come on, man.
Yeah. Now, when Giannis says this, right? So kind of let's go back to some of the words that he used.
Okay.
On the same page, sacrifice. Right. Making sense for both parties. When you hear those words, right? Because you got to kind of read between the lines and listen to what he's saying. What do you think he means by that?
He means right now, these are the things I need to be imprinted as one of the greatest to ever play this game. These are the
what does he need? What does he need though? Specifically, is he talking about players? Is he talking about a culture? Is he talking
about everything? Okay. It's everything. It's from management on down to the person. Popcorn before the game starts.
Okay, that's fair.
I need sacrifice from everybody.
Yeah.
If you don't have a babysitter tonight, you know what? Bring your kids to work.
Yeah.
And you know what? Have them in the back. But that's the sacrifice that we're making because I'm willing to do that. And I'll go anywhere to find it. You know what I'm saying? I know my worth.
So I want to get back to that, but let's stay on the Bucks for a quick second. Okay. Now, if we're talking about players, right? If we're talking about players that he wants to add to the team, add to this mix to help him continue to be the best version of himself, and for the Bucks to continue to be the best version of themselves, what do you think he wants player-wise? Give me some names or a type of player that you think he wants to maybe move forward with for the next 5 seasons. Let's just say 5 seasons.
Right. You know what? I think it has to be somebody that was willing to do the things that he wants. Somebody like Dame Lillard caliber, somebody like Jimmy Butler's caliber, somebody that is going to continue to set this culture that I've came in and I built with my bare hands.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So anybody can't come in here willing to sacrifice and do those things, then we don't need him here. Or I will leave. And you know what? He's going to entertain it.
Do you think
know what I'm saying?
Do you think he's over the Middleton Drew Holiday thing? I mean, they did win a championship with those two guys. Bobby Portis.
Absolutely.
I mean, I wonder what's going. See, here's the thing too. I always talk about being prisoner of the moment. Maybe he's being a bit of a prisoner of the moment because I always said, and you can attest to this, they should not have lost to the Miami Heat. They shouldn't have.
Correct.
He got hurt, and I feel like that was a situation where that was out of his control. When he came back, he wasn't 100%. They did fire the coach, right?
Absolutely.
Maybe he's upset about that. Maybe he wasn't really big on that move. I don't know. I haven't heard him say anything about that. He doesn't seem like the type that's going to be vocal about his displeasure with like the team he's playing for, the ownership he's playing for. But maybe he felt like that was a premature firing. Maybe he felt like,
you know what?
I don't know.
That's a great analysis. You know what?
I feel like there's something bothering him. These quotes to me, I'm like, bro, what is it that you feel like you don't like right now? And I'm like, because you just won a couple years ago, you got hurt this past playoffs, and then Miami kind of jumped on y'all from there. But what is it? I really wish I knew what it's something. There has to be specific things that he does not like about the Bucks right now. And I'm kind of going to player personnel,
okay,
coaching, management. Like, is it all three? Is it one over the other? I'm like, I'm wondering what it is. Like, what's Giannis not really feeling right now? Something he's not feeling. So in your opinion, what is it?
Well, a guy like Giannis, the one thing that we know for sure is that a championship a couple years ago was a decade ago to a guy like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to win every year.
Yeah.
So for Giannis, absolutely, he has a sour taste in his mouth.
It could just be losing and now.
It could be losing. It could be something losing. And again, he's a winner. You know, this is a guy. You know, guys like this, when they lose, it ruins their night. They're thinking about what they could have done that whole night.
I'm like that in Madden. So I can only imagine being an NBA player. Like, my goodness.
Right. So when I go back to last season, one of the things that stick out to me also was I always wondered, was it a disconnect? You know what I mean? Because I know in that Miami series, yes, he was playing hurt. I know he came back, but I know after one of the games, I don't know if it was the final game, but one of the questions was asked to him was because Jimmy Butler was having such a game, why didn't you pretty much guard Jimmy?
Oh,
you know what
really?
I mean?
Okay. I didn't hear that.
I believe Giannis' response, and I may misquote. So if I do misquote, please leave in the comments if I do. I believe his comment was, I don't know, you have to go ask the coach, because basically that was his. You know what I mean? Okay. And Giannis is a respectful guy, so he seems like someone he would do what is told. You know what I mean? Whether it's right, whether it's wrong. So that tells me right there that there was a disconnect. You know what I mean? It was more like, you know what? Well, I wanted to go do that, but I wasn't told to go do that. You know what I'm saying? So maybe that's an experience coming into next year. You know what? In that moment, I tell my coach, you know what? No, that's what I'm going to go do.
And now that you're saying,
I am guarding him.
Now that you're saying that, I'm kind of getting, I'm kind of sitting here thinking, I'm like, now I can kind of see what you're saying. And like, I'm going back to his words. I think he kind of wants to see what's going to happen. Like this, Adrian Griffin being the coach now, I believe is a head coach out there. All right, let me see what this guy's about. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Let me see, let me see if we have chemistry with him. Let me see if he has that winning mentality, a winning philosophy. Can he hold the locker room? Let me see what acquisitions we get in the next year or so. Like, so I think he's in that process. Like, you know what? It's my time up here. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, they got my brothers employed, but at the same time, I want to keep winning. So let me see where this goes. So now I see what he's saying. He's saying it doesn't make sense right now. You know what I'm saying? So he wants to see in a year. And see if everybody's on the same page as far as winning. So I kind of see what he's saying, man. Now let's kind of have a second part to that. And on this particular article, they're talking about a couple teams who, possibly can make a move for Giannis if he wanted to get traded, if he wanted to be on the move.
Speak on it.
So they do have some teams here. They're talking about the OKC Thunder. Don't sleep on them. They're a young team, but hey, I think I like what they got built on there. New York Knicks are always in the mix for somebody when it comes to guys like this, but I just I don't feel like they're going to be able to I don't know though. Right. I don't know. We'll see. But they also have the Spurs on here. They got Wemby. That'd be crazy with Wemby and Giannis, depending on how Wemby turns out. Lakers. Now this one was interesting because I was thinking this, right. I was thinking if this year don't work out with AD Giannis swap. I feel like that's a fair trade for both teams. if you're the Bucks, you're like, hey, well, shit, we get Anthony Davis back. You're not going to get much better than that, like for Giannis, as far as a trade. You know what I mean? And if you're the Lakers, you're like, hey, this is somebody we can get for the next 5, 6, maybe 7 years of his career. You know what I mean? LA, he's already a superstar in the league. I feel like that would be the best fit for Giannis. What's your thoughts when it comes to thinking about the teams across the league? Where could you see Giannis if it just so happened that he wanted to leave Milwaukee?
Well, listening to his comments,
he wants to win. He wants to win.
He wants to.
I feel like he wants culture. He wants to win.
Sacrifice.
Right.
Hard work. And it was another one he may have seen. But you know what? It doesn't even matter.
What you think?
Because those three right there,
I want Miami. Oh my God. Oh my
sacrifice.
God. I know what you're gonna
and
say.
Hard work.
I'm so sick of you in these heat. Oh my God. I know you. What's the team?
It's really only one place that describes that.
What's the team?
And that's the Golden State Warriors. I can see someone like Giannis fitting in perfectly with the Warriors.
Perfectly?
Curry out there on the wing.
Talk to me.
Giannis is running like a
gazelle
stallion on the wing.
But here's my thing with that.
Draymond dribbling it up.
But here's my thing. Here's my thing though, right? You got to give up somebody. That's going to be a trade. He ain't a free agent now. So who are you getting rid of? That means either Clay's gone, Wiggins gone, maybe both. Probably both. So now you go.
Who you want?
Or maybe Dre. Like
who you want?
Who I want? Who I want to know. Who you said the Warriors. So who you giving up? If you're going to stay for Giannis.
I would probably
you're giving up two players. That's not a one player swap.
Right. You're absolutely right. I would maybe go like
maybe I don't know. I feel like I could be wrong, but maybe
Draymond or Clay.
But Clay,
I would rather keep Clay, but
I don't see Milwaukee wanting any of those guys at this point in their career. Like Clay, right. he's about done. Let's be honest about Clay. Like he's about maybe after this next push that they make, he's done. You know what I'm saying?
Love you, Clay.
Love you, Clay. But he don't play defense no more. He's not the same player. He's still very good in that system, but he didn't have that good of a series against the Kings, running up and down that floor. We ran him off the court. You know what I'm saying? Right. Let's not forget.
He's coming off a horrible end.
I think you would have to give up Draymond Green, but again, he's getting older. Like. See, as I'm saying, it don't match up. I see what you're saying, but you can't just. I think if we're talking about fantasy basketball, like in a fantasy, like okay, the fantasy team, like if you put Giannis, on that Golden State team as it's constructed right now, it would look good. But the fact that you would have to give up a player or two, it would pretty much just be Giannis and Steph, and it's like, don't get me wrong, you could do that, but. I don't know, man. I don't know. I see what you're saying, though.
Don't worry about it.
I see what you're saying.
I see it. I see the reason. But no, I do.
I think Lakers better, man, because I feel like you could do the AD Giannis swap, and I feel like you could still keep your team intact if you're LA, right? Like, because those salaries match up pretty much. I mean, probably almost to the T. They probably, you know what I'm saying? So those salaries match up, swap, boom. Both teams fair. That's probably the most fair trade in NBA history, almost. You know what I'm saying? As far as for superstar for superstar. I see the Lakers, man, and I think you can get LeBron to stick around for a couple more years to play with Giannis. You know what I mean? Yeah. Get some shooters to surround them. That's what I would do. Get some shooters to surround those guys. Keep the Austin Reeves, those type of guys, the D'Angelo Russells. Keep those guys. They can shoot the three. Maybe get a couple more shooters. That's a team that I could see if Giannis was on the move. But it's definitely an interesting topic. We're going to keep our eye on that, man. Definitely going to keep our eye on that. Our last topic of the day, man, we got Jaylen Brown. He recently played in the Big Three, man. That's huge because we've never seen a current NBA player play in the Big Three. Now, we see a lot of NBA players playing these Pro-Am leagues, summer leagues, Drew leagues, things like that. You were seeing play at the park during the summer. I saw Jimmy Butler the other day, playing in the park with some kid. Talking about playing 1-on-1. But you don't. Yeah. We have yet to see a player go over to the Big Three and play a game. I feel like that was kind of big for Ice Cube in his league, the Big Three, man. And he's really been heavily on his campaign of talking about how he feels like the NBA's kind of not really supportive, I'll say, for lack of a better word, of his league, of the Big Three. I kind of feel like that's why Jaylen Brown went over there and did that. So what are your thoughts on Jaylen Brown playing for the Big Three? What was your thoughts on that move? And you know what I'm saying, do you think that more players should go over there and support Ice Cube? Do you think the NBA should support Ice Cube in the Big Three? Just what are your thoughts on all that?
Man, that is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I want to say shouts out for the risk and the sacrifice that Jaylen Brown made Cube to even do that. And when we're talking about having each other's back and wanting to see each other succeed, man, you know what? Jaylen Brown is actually living what he is saying. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is somebody that's coming off a fresh $304 million contract, the richest NBA deal in history.
And he's going over to play with Ice Cube.
And
he didn't have to do that. He did not have to do that.
Ice Cube. I actually want to read a quote from Ice Cube.
I was going to read that too. Go ahead. Yep, go ahead. Yep, I was going to read that too.
Jaylen Brown is my hero. Yeah. He's making a humongous statement by being the first current NBA player in a Big Three game. By suiting up for our All-Star game tomorrow, he is doing everything in his power to help the league succeed. I salute, and I am forever grateful. Man, that right there, that speaks power right there in itself.
A genuine quote, man. And I feel like he really appreciated that.
Genuine quote.
Yeah.
Also, you know what? And one of the things I was doing, Jaylen Brown, he ended up doing it for charity.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. And he said, one of the quotes he said is, he was saying he wants to make more of an impact in this community and the vision for Black economic empowerment in line with the Big Three co-founder Ice Cube. So that was one of the things, was because it was a Black-owned business, he wanted to support it. He wanted to get behind it, and he was willing to take that sacrifice and put his face out there.
Yeah.
And, man, that is big, man. So I hope Jaylen Brown leading by example. I hope some of you other brothers or just any of you other athletes out there, professional athletes, man, get more involved, speak up, and let's help Ice Cube get this thing on a bigger level, because he's doing it. He's showing you so far how far he can take it on his own.
And,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, and here's another thing that I wonder too. Like, I wonder if like the NBA felt like, because they're not in competition with the Big Three. This is, first of all, like, these are retired players playing in a half court setting, totally different type of game in the summer. So it's not like, you know what I mean? I wonder to what lengths that he's gone through to ask the NBA for help, if he even has, or does he just feel like they should naturally do it? I don't know how that works behind the scenes. I don't know what he's, who he's talked to or what he's tried to do as far as collaborations with the NBA. But he seems really upset lately about not getting that support. So Jaylen Brown kind of stepping, being that first guy to make that big step and helping that, I feel like it's big, man.
Very big.
Yeah.
Pause.
Yeah.
Yes.
But, it was kind of weird. No, I don't say it's weird, but I do remember Ice Cube saying this about the big three, that he was saying he did not want current players in the Big Three. So that's kind of like, but you were saying that 2-3 seasons ago, but now you're like, oh, like, come on. So it's kind of like, I wonder if the Big Three is in trouble as far as financially. Maybe it's not doing as well as it was when it first started. Something's going on to where he feels like he needs the extra support, and maybe he does need to start letting guys come over, letting some free agents come over who were trying to get NBA contracts and things like that, letting some G League guys come over, letting some younger guys, because before it was like, oh, I want the retired older players, right? But maybe some of these guys, like, they're not really bringing in the, I don't want to say the revenue, but bringing in the ratings. They're not bringing the viewership. Yeah, so if you have let's just say a guy like Mac McClung, right? Who's, dunk contest, really, been bouncing around NBA teams, G League, two-way contracts. But if he comes over to the big three, he goes crazy, dunking on people, hooping. Like maybe that would help his brand and help his career for the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So maybe guys like that should kind of go over there and play. And I feel like Ice Cube should be more welcoming to that. Maybe he is now. I don't know. I'm not again, and I'm wondering like when he says he wants the support from the NBA, what type of support is it? You know what I'm saying? Like what in your mind, like what would you think?
I know one of the things Ice Cube was saying, he was of gatekeeping sponsorship and network deals.
I wonder what he means by that. Because see, like cold words like that, we don't know because we're not behind the scenes. But I wonder like who's doing what and why he feels that way.
Guys like that, and you hit it right on the head. When I'm speaking like that, it's not for you to know,
exactly.
But they know exactly what I'm saying.
They know what I'm saying.
And I've heard Ice Cube state many times say that I want to do work with the NBA. I don't want them working against us. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, maybe Ice Cube's brand for the NBA, they may feel it doesn't fit them. I don't know what it is, but I feel like it's a great. I feel like not only is it a good league, it's a good league for the community. Because when I go to a big 3 game, or if I'm watching it, I get a community feel for it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And it keeps players in shape. It keeps players interested. Guys that's getting cut, guys that's got released, guys that's trying to find their way back off an injury. Spirit wise, somebody like you said, someone like a Harry Giles, he would be good right.
Yeah.
3. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can show you what I can do in a half court setting right now against other NBA players. Mm-hmm. You know, the talent isn't such a big dip from the G League and the Big 3.
And then I'm sitting there thinking too, when I'm thinking about like how the NBA can help in other ways and support, like maybe during All-Star, maybe during All-Star weekend, maybe on that Thursday, because Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday is kind of like All-Star weekend. Absolutely. Maybe on that Thursday or Friday, have like a Big 3 thing that you kind of implement into your festivities or something like that. Like maybe that could be a part of All-Star Saturday. Maybe that could be like the first thing on All-Star Saturday, like at noon before you get to the skills contest or 3-point and dunk. Do a Big 3 thing. Big. You know what I mean? Maybe kind of have that and be like, yo, like, you know what I'm saying? Get ready for the summer, you know what I'm saying? A couple months, or whatever, like kind of support them like that. I don't know. I mean, I feel like there is ways that they can do it.
Always ways.
There's always ways. There's always ways. But I mean, at the same time, a closed mouth does not get fed. So I don't know. Again, I don't know what he's asked for or what he's looking for. But like, again, I know he did mention that gatekeeping of sponsorships and stuff like that. I do know he did mention that, so maybe that's more so what he's talking about. I don't know, but yeah.
And the sponsorships, financially, were also these players that's coming in too. Ice Cube doesn't seem like someone dirty. He seems like he wants to be able to take care of people. You know what I mean? So financially, some of these players can benefit from some of these sponsorships. These bigger networks. Can you imagine a Big 3 on ESPN? Stuff like that. Matter of fact, ESPN, that would actually help you if you ask me.
Honestly, I think it would be great for ESPN because there's not much over there in the summers. I mean, I know that they have baseball, baseball games at night, I think a lot of times on ESPN during the summers and things like that. But there's not much going on over there besides that. If y'all bring on the Big 3, I think people would tune into that. I do. Like, I think, know what? Or what if they put, but see, I don't know if it's conflicting, but what if you have like the Big 3 on NBA TV? You know what I mean? Things like that. Or,
sponsorship, I mean, you know what? I mean, I feel ESPN would be a great sponsorship, but ESPN is like In-N-Out Burger. When you pull up, which exactly what
Here's
it
the
is.
Thing
the
too.
menu thing.
Yeah, and the one thing, for certain brands and things like that, you gotta be a big dog, man. And I'm not sure if people are looking at the Big 3 as something that they want to invest in as far as that. Maybe they're like, it's not really worth our while to pay you this, and we're, I don't know. But maybe again, if you get on the ESPNs and things like that, maybe that's when the sponsorships will start kicking in because everybody knows people are watching ESPN. FS1, maybe get on FS1. There's nothing going on FS1 as far as like during the summers on Sundays, Saturdays? There's nothing. Well, they do have college football. No, they got college football. FS2. I mean, I don't know. Maybe something, but I don't know. Maybe there's different ways and different things that he can do. But I feel like
as long as we save them from going on oxygen and USA.
Yeah.
Nah,
for real.
No, we don't see Big 3 on A&E. Come on, man. right after first 48, Big 3. Come on, I can't do it.
Up next, Big 3. You know what I'm saying? But
BET gonna have Big 3 next season.
No, man. But nah, yeah.
We got Medea sitting on the court side.
We got baby boy on the screen.
Jody courtside. Oh
Jody,
man,
Jody courtside.
Denzel equalizer. One. Crazy.
Jody courtside is crazy. Hey, but nah, yeah. So Jaylen Brown, man, that was big on his part, man. I think it's dope. We're gonna see what the future is for the Big 3, man. If he can get that support that he's looking for. When I see that if Ice Cube can get the support he's looking for, if he can get more players to come over there, get his sponsorships to help this league grow and continue to go on. It's been around what like year 7, 6-ish for Big 3, somewhere around there. More than 5 years, more than 5 seasons now, I believe.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, we're definitely moving on that Big 3. So and I ain't gonna lie, I don't watch it too much. In the earlier years of the Big 3, I did kind of tap into it when I was kind of bored. I've been doing other stuff. I don't really watch a whole lot of TV nowadays anyway. But I mean, I sat and watched it. It was entertaining, especially the close games. And you had the 4-point shot and things like that. You know, and it's a different type of game because it is harder to score in that half court setting than fast breaks and when you're pushing the full court. So it's harder to score. You know what I mean? It's definitely
Big 3 came around 2017, by the way.
2017. Okay, yeah. So it's moving. It's moving. If he can hit that 10-year point, man, that'd be a hell of an accomplishment for Ice Cube, man.
I agree.
So he's definitely on the way to it. But yeah, man. So that's all we got for today, man. Definitely appreciate you guys tapping in. This was episode number 6 of the All Net No Ram podcast, man. Like I said, we missing our boy Dope Boy Bush, man. Hopefully he can get his computer back up and running so we can get this podcast, get all 3 of us back on board, man. But I'll go by the name of Stealth. We got Teddy Wire 45, man. Hey, is there any last little things that, anything we need to talk about? Any just last little straggler topics or anything like that? I really can't think of that right now. Just like kind of the stuff that like, that's not really like main topic worthy, but just anything that's kind of Sasha Vezenkov. He just recently had his press conference with the Sacramento Kings. They were talking. I was actually watching it live on IG Live, so I'm excited. Okay. I'm excited about him. Bro, I just feel like he's gonna bring something to this team that we didn't have, man, last season. I do. I feel like he's gonna bring excitement. That he's gonna bring 3-point shooting. He's gonna bring more scoring off this bench.
Great fit for the system.
Great fit for the system. I'm kind of getting that like Hito Turkoglu, Peja Stojakovic vibe when we kind of had those type of guys on the team back in the late 90s, early 2000s to go along with the Webb, the Bibby, the Divac and stuff like that. Like I'm kind of feeling like he's gonna be a huge piece, man, coming off this bench. What's your thoughts on that?
I totally agree. You know what? With guys like this, guys like Sasha coming from in that European market, man, these dudes are celebrities.
Yeah.
So for them to come over here to America, and taste the waters of the NBA life, the ground and the pound of it, for them to want to make that decision and leave their family, it has to be a winning situation or a culture for them to leave everything that they've built behind in Europe, come over here. And that's just shout out to Kings. That's shout out to Monty McNair. That's shout out to Vive.
You took the words out of my mouth, man. I love the culture that the Kings are building right now. I feel like we're building a culture of like us. I can't call it a winning culture yet because we just had this one season to get back to the playoffs and things like that, almost winning 50 games. But I'm gonna say we're creating a culture of expectations. We expect to play hard. We expect to be in the mix, and you know what I mean. And now we expect to be in the playoffs again. You know what I mean, and then to go and to go and grow and get bigger from there. And I feel like he could be a huge part of that growth for the next half decade and hopefully beyond. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he will be wearing number 7. I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
Sacramento.
That's what it is. Sacramento.
Can we get those shirts going?
Good idea.
Can we get the Sacramentos?
I'm gonna holler at my people. I'm gonna holler at my people over there, man, because you know they are over there making the t-shirts, man. They definitely.
We are going to do. You know what? Within the next week, we're going to we
gotta go holler at them to see if they, you know what I'm saying, if they can go do that for us.
Sacramento on the way.
Hey, how many? I mean, we can't give up that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, we can. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna see if we can get that done, man. But no, definitely excited for him, man. I love what he was saying during the press conference. He seemed like he's excited. He seemed like he's ready to work. So, yeah, man. Yeah, Kings are getting better, man. We made some additions. I feel like we're going to be better defensively, and I feel like we're going to be better.
All that.
You know what I'm saying? The bench is going to be, you know what I mean? Bench mob is back. You know what I mean? In Sacramento. So, but nah, yeah, man. So, like I said, I do go by the name of Stealth. We got Teddy White. Please follow us on Twitter. These are our Twitter handles underneath us. You know what I mean? Interact with us, add us, talk to us, let us know what you like, let us know what you didn't like. Also, comment in the, you know what I'm saying, on this video. Let us know anything that you know what I'm saying, any of your thoughts on any of the topics that we talked about. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. And that is about it, man. Episode number 6, All Net No Rim. Oh, I'm ready for this NBA season, man. I'm so ready for this NBA season, man.
Me too.
You know, let's get this going, man. Tap in with us, man.
Yeah, tap in.
Let's go.
Man.